got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
Okay, so we have a nice new upgrade for the car, a downforce rear wing main plate. That should give us a nice boost to our downforce levels. And welcome back everybody to round number 4 in Russia then. Desperately we need some points on the board, that's for sure. We're definitely moving forward with the car development, but we're not putting that into practice on the track, unfortunately. So it's something we definitely need to try and turn around this time out in Russia. One thing I want to mention before we get started, I think this series is going to be going down to just one day a week on Sundays now. It's purely because the time involved with doing the episodes is so much greater than anything else on the channel. I do love doing F1 content, but it's not the mainstay of the channel. It's not just an F1 channel, so I'm going to try and catch up in the next 2 or 3 weeks to try and get ahead, so that we can get back to 2 or 3 a week. But for the moment it will just be once per week on Sundays. Now if we take a look at car development then, you can see that we've now moved comfortably ahead of Force India, Williams and McLaren, and we're now technically the 4th quickest team, which is pretty incredible. Certainly not complaining about that. Can we put it into practice this weekend though? That's the thing, we'll have to find out. But let's get going into practice. Now I am doing this post-commentary because for some reason my mic was off all the way till Q2. So if we take a look now at practice, pretty comfortable as always. The track acclimatization, nicely purple to get our first number of points underway. And then moving on to the tyre management run. It was likewise very simple, very straightforward. The car definitely feeling more planted this weekend with that downforce upgrade. And it's the first feeling really I've had this season that this car is definitely a different car from last year. It's not moving about as much in the traction zones. It's turning in so much sharper. And really excited to try and get some points this weekend with the new car we've got. Qualifying run didn't go quite as smoothly, unfortunately. We did fail that, but still a good number of points for qualifying. So let's get straight into qualifying now.
Welcome back to Sochi. We're about to be joining the action down in the pit lane as the cars get ready to embark on their qualifying runs. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Well, tyre management is key here, specifically the rears. It's all too easy to overheat and wear the rear tyres as they're punished out of the low-speed corners. Most teams won't be able to avoid some kind of issue here, especially the teams that are running less downforce.
So on to qualifying then. We're just about to start our second flying lap. Our first one was a little bit cautious, going down into turn 1 and Gutierrez just parks it straight on the apex. What a fall. But if we go on to our main flying lap of the session then, you can see we're well up already. Nearly 1.8 seconds on our pretty cautious first lap round, and we're going to come round the last corner to put it in P11 between Nasser and Verline. Will it be good enough? Well, yes, just about. P10 and P12 for both of us, we're both comfortably through. So let's get on to Q2 now and see what we can do. Well, we find that last few temps, 4 temps, almost half a second actually. Let's put us up to P3. Unbelievable. Well, we've got no more tyres. That's our only run of this qualifying session, but I'm fairly confident that's going to get us through comfortably into Q3. So let's get back to the pits and play that old waiting game. Well, we dropped down a couple of places to P5 then, but we are comfortably through, and one of the strangest orders I've ever seen a Q2 session. Jenson Button up there in 2nd place in the McLaren. Roman Grosjean in 4th in the Haas. Then the Red Bulls, the Williams. Nico Rosberg, only Mercedes inside the top 10. Lewis Hamilton must have been knocked out in Q1 then. I must have missed that. And somehow, we're through. It was a good lap. Where are we? About 4 tenths quicker than Felipe Nasr, who didn't improve. Got to be happy with that. And fairly confident that we can get somewhere around there, hopefully, in Q3 as well. So let's get on to Q3 and see where we end up on the grid for Sunday's race. Oh, that's a good lap. We got plenty of fuel, so we'll go for another one. That's almost bang on what we got in Q2. Okay, it is 4th place on the grid then. A fantastic qualifying session. And I'm hoping a reflection of just how far the car has come, but considering that Nasr didn't even make it through to Q3, although he's been terrible ever since we started this career mode, let's be honest, then I don't know. But our car should be roughly where that is. We're marginally quicker than the Red Bulls, who we're just behind in car development. So overall, incredibly happy with that, and hoping we can finally get a great points haul tomorrow. But let's get on to the race. We finally win the rivalry with Nico Hülkenberg then. We've lost twice before, and finally we've done well enough to beat him. But it's a shame we're doing so badly in the actual season, really, isn't it? But I'm pretty hopeful we're going to get promoted to first driver. I can't believe we're still so far into the second season. We got, 30-40 points last year. Nasr got 0, and we're still the number 2 driver. It's pretty ridiculous, really.
Good afternoon from Sochi as we prepare to get underway for the Russian Grand Prix. The championship battle has some time to go yet, but still expect no quarter to be given here on this circuit that made its debut in 2014 and has already seen some classic racing. Built on the shores of the Black Sea, the Sochi Autodrome is a 3.6-mile tour around some of the venues built for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Close barriers may make overtakes more challenging, but with 56% of the lap taken absolutely flat out, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fitting arena then to do battle at the pinnacle of motorsport. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind is all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Kimi Räikkönen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Rosberg and the Sauber, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen, Button, Bottas, Massa and Roman Grosjean, Alonso, Perez, Nico Hülkenberg and Nasser, Wehrlein, Magnussen, Rio Haryanto and Lewis Hamilton, Palmer and Kvyat, Carlos Sainz and Esteban Gutierrez completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, welcome along to the grid then, everybody. And for the second race in a row, we're staring at those 2 Ferraris ahead of us in P4. hopefully we're going to be able to have a better final outcome than we did last time out in China. Again, there's Mercedes a long way out of position. Instead of 7th though, Lewis Hamilton's all the way back in, I think about 16th or 17th place. So hopefully he will be properly out of the way for this race. 4th place would be a great finishing position. To be honest, at this point we just need solid points. So 4th, 5th, 6th, I'd be happy with either 3 of those. Whether we'll be able to race Rosberg, I don't know, but the 2 balls behind we're definitely going to be up against, I'm sure. So let's take a look at strategies for the race then. Tyre wear not really an issue around here at all, as it would seem. So it's a 1 or a 2 stop. Most likely going to be a 1 stop. There's no real difference. No real advantage for going for the 2 around here. It's quite a lot slower. And I just don't know that you'd gain enough time back. It's a pretty tricky track to overtake on as well. And a lot of overtaking would definitely be needed for the 2 stops. So we'll stick with the 1 stop. Obviously, we can change that on the fly if it seems like we need to go with a different strategy. But I think the 1 stop will definitely work. And we just need to get away cleanly here, really. Get away after those 2 Ferraris and the Mercedes. Same as we did in China. And then just not muck up the strategy. Simple as that, really. But let's get going then for round number 4 in Russia. Here we go then for round number 4 of season 2. And we're underway. It's a pretty bad start. Though no one around us has really got a better one. It was just those 2 Ferraris and Rosberg have got a great one. There's chaos behind. As I can see a Williams round. Let's concentrate. Where we're going into turn 1 though. Can we edge Rosberg out? VSC deployed. And we just about got ahead of Rosberg into turn 1. And we're underway. 2 Ferraris nose to tail ahead. Rosberg right on our tail along with Ricciardo, Massa, Button and someone else at the back of that field. Kimi Räikkönen's just made a move on Vettel for the lead. He lock up pretty badly into that. We need to get our head screwed on here. It's not been the best start of a race in terms of concentration, but we're in 3rd, so we've got to concentrate now and see if we can somehow gap Rosberg behind us. We're so strong at the end of the lap, and we're going to have a run on Vettel here. This is a little bit dangerous. Just about through, and we've got DRS to boot. I think we did brush the wall a little bit, but it's okay. Just got to hold him off for the first half of the lap, and we just seem to have the speed on everybody in that final sector. Massa surely going to have a look here with DRS. He is. Be careful on the brakes. Not much we can do. Just about stay ahead of Ricciardo. We've lost ground to Massa because of it. He really is in a class of 1 today. Massa, it wouldn't be surprised me if he gets after Räikkönen now. We might get a run on Massa here with DRS. Nope, that was a bad idea. Ruined our tyres a bit there, and Ricciardo's got past. Now Button fighting us as well. Far too aggressive there. Both Massa and Ricciardo pitting then. I don't really want to go this early. I want to try and get a couple more laps out of these. so that we can really push on the soft tyres. Button has stayed out behind us. Raikkonen stayed out ahead. So this is probably going to hurt us, but it should help us towards the end of the race, hopefully. Oh, Button making a move there. That's brave. He's got through though. Great move in the end. Not much we can do about that. We're really starting to struggle now. And Jensen apparently not at all. Okay, in we come then. Very tricky pit entry here at Russia. And make sure you get it stopped so you don't overrun. And then straight back down. We've probably been a bit too cautious there. So it's going to be the soft tyres until the end then. Got a feeling we're going to lose quite a lot of ground to people having pitted so late. There goes Massa now, and that little squabble of cars. Button as well. Alonso and Rosberg. Are we going to get out in front of our teammate? Just about. But we're going to have a lot fresher tyres. We have so much fuel to burn that we're just going to go for this. Hopefully we've got the speed to get some of these cars back. A lot of scrapping up ahead. We need to take advantage of this. Massa, Alonso and Rosberg. Massa a long way back. He must have a problem then. Because he was right up there behind Raikkonen and looked a shoo-in for second place today. Yeah, he's definitely struggling with something. Can we get Rosberg down here? Nope. We've just lost time there. Might put ourselves under pressure from NASA. We've got DRS, but so does everybody else. Alonso making a move on Massa now. Rosberg having a look as well. Oh, Rosberg nearly losing the rear end there. We've gone far too deep as a result. Oh, we've contact with our teammate. He's round. Oh, front wing's damaged. Oh, virtual safety car. I'm going to make another stop. Into the pits. I don't know that we could have done the whole race with a red front wing. At least pitting now we stand some chance, I guess. We need to get out before the VSC ends though. Almost exactly the same time we get out. So it's the minimum loss possible, but we're now in real trouble for this race. Right, hopefully we can get Kvyat and Verline here down into turn 1. Got DRS. Past Kvyat. Can we get Verline as well on those medium tyres? No, we can't. Oh, he's locked up and gone wide though. That's opened it up. We're through to 15th. We're definitely going to be quick towards the end of this race. Whether it'll be quick enough to get back into the points, I don't know. Well, already right onto the back of NASA then, as we do a second fastest lap in a row. This is definitely the right choice. Changing onto the super softs rather than trying to continue with that red front wing, which NASA has got also. As we breeze past him, I can see 10th place on the mini map, so it's very possible we could still get some points here today. Just got to concentrate and look after these tyres at the same time. this is losing me so much time. Right, stay behind to make sure we had DRS. Now this should be easily done. As long as he doesn't squeeze us too much, Palmer. Good grief. We're through, thankfully. With DRS we should still have enough to get past Grosjean though. And we do. Well, there's Haryanto and Massa then. Massa, of course, the car that started this whole thing, who must have a damaged car because he's just going backwards and backwards. Massa and Haryanto side by side. We've got to get Massa. Oh, massive lock-up. We've held it. Oh, what a move. Seriously worried. We're going to be out of the race there for a minute. But we're good. Now we need to get past Haryanto and get 3 seconds down the road. And we have our point. There we go, DRS, and we're through. Okay, as we come round the final corner then, it's going to be a point, it's going to be 10th place, and to be honest I'm quite shocked we managed that. Considering the incident. We were only a few seconds off Nico Rosberg, who was just ahead of us in that incident, so it's good stuff there.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari.
Well, we still hold on to that 10th place then, even with the 3-second penalty. And it's a race of what could have been, really. We were right up there racing with Jenson Button and Daniel Ricciardo. 3rd place was definitely possible. Great recovery from Lewis Hamilton. From 18th on the grid then to finish 4th. That's certainly got himself out of a hole. But it's a race of what could have been, really. We were pretty fortunate that the incident happened around the virtual safety car, because it meant that we could get that stop done and back out a lot quicker than we normally would have done. I don't think we would have been anywhere near the top 10 if we hadn't have had that advantage. So I'm happy that we got back into the top 10. We got a point, which is our first point since Australia, but it's still a disappointing race overall. So it means that Kimi Räikkönen actually extends his lead of the championship, having the season of his life at the moment. Hamilton and Vettel in close pursuit. Nico Rosberg really not bringing in the business for Mercedes at the moment. Unfortunately, we're not even in sight. We're down in 14th place now. We actually lose a position to Fernando Alonso. It's a shame. Again, NASA, no points, but we're starting to make progress. The car's definitely there, and there's some tracks that I'm really confident we can get some good results at coming up. So hopefully we can lift ourselves from that 8th place in the Constructors very soon. No, at last. Oh, finally. After racing against pretty much the worst driver on the grid, we've been promoted to number 1. We will receive bonus R&D resource points then, and this will take with immediate effects and will be shown at the end of the weekend results screen. Brilliant. That didn't take long at all, did it? Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. This has been round number 4 in Russia. As I said at the beginning of the episode, we will be going back to just a weekly upload for the moment on Sundays, so that I can try and get ahead and then hopefully go back to 2 races a week as soon as possible. As always, if you did enjoy the video, hit that like button. If you want to let me know down in the comments below predictions for the end of the season, anything that I can maybe improve upon, or even how your own career mode's going, then leave that in the comments also. And if you're new to the channel and like the content you see, then you can always hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with everything as well. So, from a sort of rescue job in Russia, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. These battles have often been contained on single racetracks. Now, it's going global. The chosen chariot for this is the Red Bull 2016. Brilliant in the bends, but often hampered by its Renault engine. Lacking power on the... Sorry? What do you mean? They make watches. Oh, okay. Can they make up for the deficit on the streets with their Tag Heuer engine? Sauber, a team that often I get confused as to whether they have overachieved or underachieved. A team of humble beginnings, founded by Peter Sauber in the 1970s. He would eventually work his way up the ladder to win back-to-back Le Mans races in 1988 and 1999, the incredible Sauber Mercedes C9, a car that was relatively unchanged between the 2 years, such was its dominance. It was then that Peter Sauber decided to take a foray into Formula 1.